Next item on the agenda is the Energy Efficient Old Town Audit Grant Report. Jonathan.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Roberts. I work with Iowa Association of Municipal Utilities. I was one of the engineers that was here for the audit back in August 12th. And I'm here basically today to go over the final report. The report you have in your hands right now has a lot of material that you may have seen in the draft report. I just want to cover some of the highlights for you this evening. As you all know, the Auburn committed to a certain percentage of their kilowatt hour sales as an energy efficiency target for 2010. And I think that was 0.6% of kilowatt hours as projected sales. That's 11,082 kilowatt hour savings as a goal for 2010, and it goes up a little bit each year, 0.8% in 2011 and 1.1% in 2012. As you guys are also part of a grant called EECBG, Energy Efficiency Community Block Grant, and that goes through 2012. So even though we're wrapping up the final phases of this project, that'll be ending now December 17th. Just wanted to make you aware that the EECBG part of the grant still goes through 2012, and that will involve some energy efficiency events like we had this year. Hope to have something, another event in 2011 and another event in 2012, and also some follow-up on energy efficiency analysis of certain city processes. There's some charts in the middle portion. I'm sorry, there's not some page numbers on here, but municipal energy costs. So you can see City Hall's pretty far up there in terms of being one of the larger items for things that the city pays for. And that's not quite including, I believe there's not much electricity that's metered in here except for the...
We haven't been keeping metered records of the electricity usage in the building except for the air conditioning in the library. Now we've since rectified that and we'll eventually have numbers, but we don't have them yet.
Okay, but at the moment this is not including, my point is that the City Hall isn't reflecting that in this analysis, so it's probably much higher than you see here, and it's already the highest. So I would recommend that this would probably be the place to start in terms of the 2010, what you decide to spend your money on, which I believe is $2,518 left to spend on the grant for the rest of this year. In the future with the EECBG grant, maybe if it's possible, if you look at the pie chart that's on the next page, you can see that the big red portion, that's City Hall, and the next big blue portion, that's street lighting. And that would be something we'd like to help you guys tackle. And every town we've been in, it's generally street lighting's the #1 culprit for taking energy, and also the wastewater and water plants also use a lot of other pumps that are operating around the clock. So that'd be a good strategy of place we could start with the further EECBG work in 2011 and 2012. We audited when we were here the City Hall and Library Complex, the post office, fire station, water treatment, and for commercial buildings we did Crutico, Nathan's Flooring, Sparky's, Vans Cafe, and BJ's Restaurant. And tonight I just brought a sample of 4 of the reports. I brought City Hall, fire station, and Vans Cafe and BJ's. And I have 1 copy here of each one of those, and this is what we hope to flesh out a little more before the end. Actually, in the next few weeks, we're still working on getting these done, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what they'll look like. That's 1 copy of each, so you can go to the businesses now that I have for the City Hall people. The low-hanging fruit of what I would recommend, it's your decision what you can spend or what you would like to spend the money on that you have. I would say would be the lighting in City Hall. Right now, all the lighting is primarily, it's called T12, these fluorescents right here, and there's a more modern one called T8s. The post office has upgraded to all across the country, all the post office switched out their T12s to T8s. That's probably the easiest thing to go after in City Hall in terms of money. Some of the other things that I would recommend would be not cost effective and just, like replacing the boiler downstairs to a more efficient boiler. That'd be too much money. But I'd say you could probably retrofit most of the lights here in City Hall and the library. to T8s for probably about 2,500-ish. I think that would be doable, and I think we put that in the City Hall report. But basically it would just, you can keep the fixture, the housing, you just have to take out the bulb and the ballast. And the ballast has a magnetic ballast switch to a programmable electronic ballast and the skinnier long corporate bulbs. But that would be our recommendation in terms of what to use the money for the rest of 2010. And then we can just go from there in 2011 and 2012 and see how we can look at street lighting and wastewater. But that's pretty much all I had tonight. And the grant was extended. It was originally going to be over November 12th, and I think it's extended until December 17th. We're still working on 200 reports in 17 cities, so we split 4 ways tonight, and we've been pretty busy getting these things done, but we just wanted to give you an update in person and come say hello and answer any questions if you had any. So that's all I have for you this evening.
Thank you, Jonathan. Does
Thank
anyone
you.
have any questions for him?
Another recommendation I would have, like, just to tell you, you have a lot of options. Another one would be, I would say, insulation. I think there's 10-inch of fiberglass insulation above this office, but in the library there's 6 inches of blown-in cellulose, the loose cellulose that they blow in. I would say that's about R19, and R38 would be where you'd want to be, and that would be another 6 inches of blown in. But I think that would be much more expensive than the lighting upgrade. So just also there's an AC that runs in the water treatment plant that kind of just goes around the clock, and there's also a humidifier right next to it, and the AC drips its condensate down, and the humidifier just sucks it up, and they both run around the clock. And that'd be another thing I would say would be either move the humidifier or unplug it, or something with the AC. I don't know. That was kind of a problem that Joel and I saw when we were in the water treatment.
Maybe rethink that whole process.
Something there.
Okay. In your ballpark estimation, and I haven't had a chance to look through all of this, would the ceiling roof insulation, I guess what you have here is the ceiling roof insulation, though it may cost more dollars initially, has a faster payback in savings. Is that what I'm reading?
Yes. Yes. So if you wanted to go for like the thing that'll pay for itself quickest in terms of the investment, I would say that would be the insulation. But if you wanted the thing that was the cheapest to implement that still had savings, that would be the lighting. And one of the reasons we pushed the lighting is the T12 lights, they're going to stop making them after 2012. So maybe it'd be a good idea to use some of this money to help pay for that ahead of time.
Yeah, that's a good consideration.
So, and that was just the suggestion.
I didn't know they were doing that.
One of the reasons, I think the insulation, the cellulose blown, they blow it in and everything, it's all real loose. I think it's $1 a square foot to do that for up to 6-inch level. That's kind of on the higher side. It might be lower, so if it's lower, that might make it a little cheaper. But we just kind of, we didn't get a quote from someone local. That's just kind of a across the board number we've seen that we use to kind of be on the safe side.
Okay. And the individual businesses, you'll get me those audit reports eventually?
Yes, and hopefully I'll have those to you well before your next council meeting.
Doesn't have to go in front of council, I just
Okay.
want to share it with those businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll have Critico and post office. And post office could use some insulation too. I don't think there was any up there.
Nope.
I crawled all the way up there. Right?
Yeah, I believe we went all the way up there.
These guys got to see a lot of pieces of Auburn that most of us don't look at.
I haven't even been up there.
Any other questions for Jonathan while he's here?
If not, on the individual audit reports, we have the IMU 800 number. It's on these, every one of these, and you can reach us there. And also, I'll leave a few of my cards here too if anybody has questions. Feel free to contact me, and I'd love to answer your questions. So, thank you.
But you really didn't find anything just like hugely I mean, the insulation's bad and we need to change out some lights, but it's like, we didn't find a lot of really bad things in what,
Well, like most of the furnaces we saw were 80% efficient, and you're losing a lot of gas there in terms of not like having a 95% efficient, sort of the ideal to have, but it's just so expensive we didn't want to suggest that necessarily. I mean, we told it in the report for City Hall, you know, the
Yeah.
boiler system downstairs, the 2 boilers, but there's nothing you can do about it really right now.
and it's my understanding that boilers don't get a whole lot more efficient anyway, correct?
That's true. Oh,
Even for the age of this one
Yeah.
down here,
yeah.
it's about as efficient as they get. That's my understanding now. I don't know that that's,
But I don't think there's anything that can be done about it real in a cheap manner. But insulation would help keep the building warmer in the winter, that's where most of the money for City Hall is going, is to pay for the gas, the heat, the whole complex.
did you
there.
guys go up in the ceiling of what was the old fire station?
I don't know if I did. Joel might have. I went up in the library ceiling and took a look up. in
Because I'll
the
bet the
ceiling.
insulation's the same there
I
as.
bet it is too.
Mhm.
So this one is 10" and it's, I can't remember exactly, but it's about R20, R24 or something like that. So rolled 10" fiberglass insulation up here.
Anything else for Jonathan?